The deeper that I go in my spiritual journey, the more I realize that we are our biggest ops, right? There has been so many times that I have realized that the one person holding me back the most is myself. I've been on this self-love journey, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all by any means. I don't want anybody to misconstrue any of this and think that I'm saying that, going on a self-love journey is bad or having self-discipline is bad, because that is so far from the truth in my opinion. I think it's extremely necessary, probably one of the most, hands down, necessary things that we need in our lives, okay? So don't misconstrue it. But what I realized today is I've been on this self-love journey, right? And now I think a lot of people deal with this as well. I don't know if it's just mainly a me thing that deals with it to this degree. I think a lot of our environment, a lot of social media kind of primes us to deal with this, but a lot of us have perfectionism issues, right? Like toxic perfectionism. I think a lot of social media, and I think a lot of just our culture, at least in the US, kind of primes us to want to have, especially with aesthetics, dude, want to have this toxic perfectionism where everything has to look perfect, everything has to go perfect. If I'm going to do this, I need to be perfect at it the first time that I do it, or else I'm a failure. Some of you might know from watching my other video that I am going through a transitional time right now where I am quitting nicotine for the fucking billionth time. And it feels like each time I do this, I get a little bit more of an insight on how I need to shift the way that I'm doing it in order to really get through it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I would love to come on here and be like, oh yeah, it was so easy, a walk in the park, and I could lie to you guys, but what benefit does that do for any of us? It has not been fucking easy. It has not. I have been getting so irritated with every little thing and just my lack of motivation. I feel like I'm not getting the dopamine that I usually get, right? So how this ties into self-love is because I'm doing it out of self-love. I know I need to be doing this because it's bad for me, it hurts my lungs, I don't want to die because of a fucking little robot dick that I'm sucking on. That's just, if I'm gonna die, let me go out a better way, right? Anyways, I'm doing it out of self-love. But I think the main error that I'm making with this, and I realized it this morning, is I have a really hard time giving myself grace. So, for instance, if I'm doing really good for a while, if I'm not feeling good on top of that, and everything's not perfect, right? I start to attack myself, and that's where self-discipline kind of has this slippery slope of turning into self-punishment under the guise of self-love. And the whole reason why I'm sharing this is because I'm sure somebody out there is going through the same thing. And look, I want to extend my knowledge of giving myself grace and now practicing grace towards myself to you as well, and let you know that it's okay to fuck up. You don't have to be perfect. Honestly, if you break down perfection, it's actually better to not be perfect, because there's beauty in the imperfection, right? If you look around, nothing is perfect. If you look at nature, nothing is perfect. We try to make it perfect, and then we fail because nothing is ever perfect, or nothing that's worth it is ever perfect. If it's perfect, it's not fun, right? It sucks. It's boring. We get bored of it, and then it's like on to the next thing. So we're the ones trying to make everything fucking perfect. And then when it's not perfect, we beat ourselves up about it. And that's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to help bring into other people's awareness, because I have been dealing with this shit for so long. And yeah, I knew like a little bit. I knew about the whole like imperfection thing, and it's so much easier to say it than actually put it into practice. But today was the day where I really was like, yo, I am being so hard on myself. Even though like I've been doing good, I am being so incredibly hard on myself for no reason. And I think a lot of this stems from, at least in my case, stems from our parents, because when we're looking at self-discipline, we kind of have to treat ourselves like children, right? We need to like parent ourselves in a way and be that like parental figure and be like, no, honey, you can't do this, it's bad for you. Or maybe like, you can do a little bit of it, but you can't go crazy because it'll kill you, you know? You have to step in and be that parent. And I think a lot of times this like toxic perfectionism, like I said, at least in my case, stems from having a parent or just a parental figure who is really hard on us. And then kind of subconsciously taking that into our adulthood and not even really like realizing we're playing out these patterns, but we're playing out these patterns where we're telling ourselves it's self-love and self-discipline, but it's actually bordering like self-punishment. And then the thing about self-punishment is, if you feel, and this doesn't have to be with like addictions, this could be with literally anything. If there's a fragment in you, right, that feels like the other fragment is punishing it and repressing it, that leads to resentment within yourself. And I don't know about y'all, but I have this like a rebellious energy in me. So how that manifests for me is when I feel like I'm suppressing a side of myself, I go full fucking throttle in it out of resentment and like kind of in a way like rebellion and like spiting myself, like, and I don't even do this consciously, right? It's like, oh, you wanna like force me not to smoke nicotine? Well, I'm gonna go crazy. And that is the loop that I was getting stuck in over and over and over again. Like, I would be like, okay, we're gonna quit. I know it's bad. Like, we're just gonna stop. And then if I have cravings or if I slip up, then, you know, I'm a piece of shit. Because, like, other people can do it, you know, like, why can't I? And that right there is the fucking toxicity. That is the antecedent that makes me at least go, you know what, I might as well just go crazy. I might as well just go full throttle in it. And then I end up like fully relapsing and then feeling even more like shit, like it just like compounds off of itself until I'm ready to start the cycle again. So I'm hoping that you guys are like kind of picking up what I'm putting down, and even if you can't fully relate to it, I think there's still something to be said about just keeping this in the back of our minds for when we do want to go on a self-love venture. And, you know, I think just self-love in general is so like misconstrued and or lost along with self-discipline. And I get it, man. Like, I so get it. I used to be like, I used to be so Like, I'm gonna die anyways. Let me just, like, do whatever. Like, kind of, but that came from, like, a very hopeless space, right? So I get it. I get the other side. Like, and if you're there, then absolutely no shame. Again, the whole point of this is to eliminate the shame out of it. Because I feel like oftentimes the shame is like almost more, well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing, but shame could be potentially like worse for you than whatever you're actually doing, like harboring those emotions of shame within you. And then having that like mental like loop of like, oh, I'm doing really good, and oh, I slipped up this one time, I'm a fucking failure, you know? There's beauty in the imperfection. There's beauty in the vulnerability, right? Like, if everything looks perfect and you're so worried about being this perfect person and putting on this perfect facade, like, you're not gonna convey something that is actually needed to come out of you, like that genuine, authentic, raw expression of yourself that we essentially all came here to embody. Yeah, we're not perfect, but it's like, it's the dance of the universe, right? It's the song. It's like we're all playing our note. We're all playing our instrument. We're all hitting our mark, right? I just hope that by me having this realization over a prolonged period of time, and it literally smacking me in the face this morning, by me coming here and sharing my thoughts with you guys, it helps you at least reflect on situations where you might be too hard on yourself. Because really, like, as long as you're trying your best, that's all that matters. And even if you're not perfect, if you keep trying and recommitting every single time and like making small pivots, just like I'm doing, like little 1-degree pivots, like maybe I need to switch up my mindset this way, you will get there. You will get wherever you want to go. And if it doesn't have to do with addiction, if it's like some project, right? Maybe you might end up somewhere even better than what you once thought that you were going to go to, right? Like you have this vision, and this vision is like perfection in your mind, and you're trying to get there, and it's just not working out. Sometimes we need to make those little pivots because actually what you think is perfect isn't perfect for you. And then this is actually perfect for you, right? The more I'm talking about this, I don't even really like the word self-discipline. I think self-discipline should fall under the self-love umbrella, right? Because when I think of self-discipline, discipline in my mind is like punishment. That's not how I want to look at self-love. I don't want to look at, this is the whole problem. I don't want to look at self-love as a punishment, because as soon as I label it a punishment, that's where the whole self-resentment, repression, rebellion cycle comes in, right? Because I feel like I'm like punishing a part of myself when that's not it. So I think after thinking about this, I think the best way is, like I said, make those pivots, refocus, realign with whatever you're trying to do with the pivots, right? Those little changes in perspective, but also show yourself grace and just be fucking nice to yourself, dude. Like I had, what really sparked this is I had this conversation with my sister last night, and she's quitting nicotine with me, right? And throughout this whole journey, this recent journey, I've also become aware that everything is perspective, dude. So like, my perspective of what I was going through was totally different from her perspective of what I was going through, right? Because I started a little bit earlier than she did. So she was texting me and she was like, oh, Shira, like, it's been so long, like, you've been so committed, like, I'm so proud of you. And I felt like I couldn't even really celebrate myself because I had a couple slip ups where I would like, you know, go hit a vape for a second. And like, in my mind, I was being so fucking hard on myself. I was like, you know what? I even told her, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like it's actually truly been that long because I slipped up. So I have to like restart the clock, you know? And she was like, dude, no, that's not it. Like, you're missing the point. Like, you're still doing it. You're still making the steps, even if you had a little slip up. You know, like, whatever it takes for you to refocus and like stay true to it, that's what it takes. And after she said that, dude, I was like, holy shit. I've just been really, really hard on myself about this and like really rigid in my thinking. And that's where I kind of like, it like kind of caught me in my tracks. I was like, dude, I am my biggest op. Like, what? So yeah, just give yourself grace, dude. Like, you'll get there. You'll fucking get there. It's in the journey, not the destination. And I know that sounds so cliche. It sounds so cliche. I try not to say like little fucking corny quotes like that because I know a lot of people hear them and they're like, oh, whatever, you're just regurgitating shit. But so, like, some of them are true. They are true, right? Like, if you wanted to do something and then you just automatically got it, where's the fun in that? You would just, most people, I think, would just drop it and be like, okay, on to the next thing. Like, what's next? Without even really, like, there's no real, like, gratification in that, you know? Because it's like, yeah, you got that instant gratification for, like, a second. But then it's like, okay, on to the next thing. And it kind of keeps us in, like, a state of just, like, okay, I need to keep going, I need to keep going, I need to keep going. But when you take the time to actually like appreciate the journey and like build something slowly over time, then when you get there, you have, first of all, you have so much more than the person who got it right off the bat. Like, you actually learned lessons along the way that can help you with whatever you want to do next. And you get this like deep, instead of like a little hit of dopamine, right? Like the instant gratification person, you get this like deep sense of like, I did that. It was fucking hard, but I did it, you know? Like, that's something you can take with you forever. And next time you're in a challenge, you can look back to that and use that as a motivation for you as well. Just please don't be fucking hard on yourself like I am. We're gonna make it, guys. Gonna make it. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have that like that deep gratification, and then on our next endeavor, we're gonna be like, damn, I fucking did it. Like, I'm the shit. I learned all these lessons, and now I can teach other people too. Like, I'm not only helping myself, I'm helping everybody, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know what you think about this, because this is just, I feel like there's more to it, obviously. I could probably go off on like 7 more side tangents if I wanted to, but I want to hear your guys' opinion on it, or maybe if like you go through something similar, because I have such an issue with the whole perfectionism thing, and I know that others have it as well because I see it. Like, I see a lot of people who are so scared to even make the first step because they feel like they have to be perfect. So, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right. I love you guys so much. I'm going to be doing... I took a break from YouTube, right? I said I was going to take a break from collective readings. and I ended up taking a break from YouTube, but I feel like I really actually needed that. Like, I just needed, y'all don't know what I'm doing behind the scenes too. Like, I am doing the most. I am always doing the most. Another thing, why I'm my biggest op, I don't know if I'm like low-key a masochist or something. I don't even know if I said that right. But you know, people who enjoy pain. But I literally just, I have this like ambition that drives me so heavily that I feel like I just have to do like a million things all the time. So if it takes me a second, like, to post videos, either A, like I'm reworking some shit in my brain, or I'm just so fucking busy with all of my other endeavors. Like I said, everything is perspective, dude. That's the hardest part, is just getting past your own perspective, your own ego, bro. Like, that's the main thing holding you back. So yeah, I don't know, it feels good to be back in this space. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Until next time, I love you.